Greetings, this is Ravana Nun once again, and today we'll be discussing the shadow self, the divine self that exists within each and every one of us. The first thing we have to comprehend is that the shadow self is the self that we all have to connect back to. Why do I say that? Because the shadow self is the part of us that the pain, the wounds, the trauma, the suffering, the issues reside at. And we've been taught in this society to avoid dealing with anything that is negative, whether it's negative thoughts, negative actions, negative situations, to leave a negative thought quickly and put a positive thought, to run from a negative situation or condition, to just quickly hide our pain and our suffering and sorrow. This is totally incorrect. Why do I say that? Because you will never, ever, ever reach that state of divine intelligence and self-transformation unless you deal with that pain and that wound. Going into that pain and wound will give you the greatest power to be able to transform to a greater being than at any other moment in your life. When you have pain, that pain stems from something, from a situation that is there from early childhood to today, most of the time. For example, you have a pain of abandonment or issue of abandonment, which leads to pain when you feel that somebody's abandoning you in a relationship, friendship, whatever the case may be. It stems from when you were a young child. As a young child, you felt abandoned by your parents. They might have not been able to raise you. They might have had situations in their life that complicated them being able to take care of you. So they basically shooed you off to your grandparents, aunt, uncle, somebody. And you felt abandoned because of that. You never felt totally quite loved. Fast forward into your teenage years, your 20s, 30s, whatever the case. And now you're in a relationship. This person has matured and grown, and they're vibrating at a higher level than you are now, or a different level. Let's not say higher, just say a different level. And they've matured because the experience of your relationship was the maturity that they're so needed to elevate to a different situation. But you cannot let go of that situation because you still haven't dealt with that issue of abandonment. And now you feel like they're abandoning you now when you need them, because we have blinded ourselves to realize that every relationship is not eternal. Some is for a time. Some relationships are for indefinite amount of time. But whatever the case, there is usually a beginning and an end to every relationship. And you, because of this issue, cannot let it go, and you let it affect you to the point where you have actions that may not end up beneficial. That exists because you never dealt with that issue of abandonment. So how do you deal with it? Well, first thing you have to realize is that you're worthy of something wonderful. You're worthy of good relationships. You're worthy of success. That you are greater than you have allowed yourself to be. And when you realize that, you realize that you never can be abandoned. That the only person that ever really abandoned you was yourself. because you gave great worth to others outside of yourself. You gave more value to people outside of yourself and what they feel and what they think about you. You give them power over you because you care more about what they feel and think and say about you than you feel, think, and say about yourself. So the first step is realize you are the master. You are the one that is worthy, and you are the one that is in control of your life. And nothing anybody can say outside of you will ever affect you again. The environment we live in, the society we live in, teaches us not to deal with our issues. It teaches us to run from a negative thought, situation, relationship. However, if you stop and think for one moment, let me stop and ask myself, why am I angry? Not on a superficial layer, on a deeper level, what is really triggering my anger? You will, in that moment, empower yourself because you will get the answers of why you feel and are acting and reacting the way you are at that moment. And when you realize that it stems from something back in your childhood, and then you remember that I am worthy of more than this, I am more valuable than I am giving myself credit for, I am stronger than I'm giving myself credit for, and what this person says is not the ultimate definition of who I am, you take your power back and you empower yourself. That shadow self is found in the subconscious mind, as I said earlier. And one method to use when you meditate, of course, meditate in darkness, but try to have your room as dark as possible. Use no candles. And when you're meditating, before you meditate, visualize yourself going downward, a downward spiral staircase, not an upward, a downward spiral staircase, which is symbolic of your double helix, your DNA strand, your DNA helix, and it's symbolic of going down into your subconscious mind where most of this pain, the issues, the trauma, the wounds reside at. And when you confront it, you will empower yourself. See, Hollywood has a method. In most horror movies, they get you scared, they get you frantic, they get you emotionally tied into the movie. But notice there's always one character who decides that I can't run anymore. I have to confront this serial killer, this masked man or woman, this ghost, this demon. I have to confront it in order to get out of this situation. See, they're subliminally teaching you, but we don't catch it because it's just a movie. So we're all caught up in the hype of the movie, but we don't catch it that they're really teaching you that you have that same power as that character in the movie to confront your demons, defeat your demons, and overcome and create a brand new life. Your shadow self is the side we mask from society. The shadow self is the side that we separate from even ourselves. There's the conscious and the subconscious. There's the me, and then there's the real me, when it's all interconnected. But the subconscious, which governs mostly all your bodily functions, also governs many of the issues that we don't deal with, the pain that we don't deal with. So it's a repeated behavioral pattern that quickly manifests when a situation happens that triggers those issues. You have to realize that you are vibrating and you can vibrate at a higher level, that your consciousness can increase. But all the knowledge in the world does not mean a damn thing if you don't have knowledge of self. I don't mean superficial knowledge of self, or your identification, your race, your nationality, how great you are, how great we were in the past, and all this great old hunky-dory bullcrap. Good to know, good information. But it's not as important as knowledge of yourself and what composes you and why you react the way you do and why you don't create your life and why you like to blame the other man, the white man, this person, that race, that religion, this for my situation. The real self does not blame anybody but takes responsibility for their life because they realize they create everything in their life. Every situation they created. Every moment was created by them. Every condition was created by them. If you're not successful, it was my creation because I had unsuccessful thoughts existing in my mind. Wherever your thoughts go, the body will follow. Or as George Clinton, a Parliament Funkadelic once said, free your mind and the rest will follow. Free your mind. Free your mind from society. Free your mind from that group or mob psychology and mentality that I have to belong to a group. I have to belong to something or someone special. I have to belong to the Mickey Mouse Club. I have to belong to this organization or order or group. And realize that a real master stands alone. A real master is a threat to society because they stand alone and they're self-sufficient and they're self-aware and they're not easily fooled through superstition, through hype, through what you would call propaganda. They stand alone and they can see through the lies. They stand alone and they don't need Facebook. Funny, because today I read an article. Well, actually, an article was shared with me from my friend who read the article. And it's in Psychology Today where it says that most people on Facebook suffer from a psychosis of low self-esteem. And it dawned on me. That is correct. Because most people are on Facebook seeking approval. Likes. So I post my selfie pics all the time. And I get 40, 50 likes. Oh, I'm great now. I'm beautiful. I'm sexy. I'm divine. But that's all in the cyber world. How real are these people, or how true are these people when you actually meet them face to face? It's a whole different subject, a whole different situation. Or I post a bunch of great metaphysical knowledge, all seeking what? Approval. Because it feeds into my low self-esteem. See, this is why we must deal with the self, the divine self, and go inward and manifest a powerful us, a true us. Because when we do that and we overcome our issues, our pain, our wounds, we empower ourselves to be greater and we realize that I am in control and I will create a new life from this day forward. Nothing or no one will control my life. I am the master over my life. And I am responsible for everything that happens in my life. And I will not blame anybody or anything for my situation. Then and only then will I become that master. To my Facebook gurus, swamis, mystics, occultists, get off of it. Why do I say that? Well, listen, Photoshop gurus, Photoshop mystics. I can take a picture right now, Photoshop, and put all this mystical symbols and auras and all these vibrations and energies and all this stuff into it. For what? For what? Oh, because I want somebody's attention. I want people to think I'm really deep. I'm really spiritual. If you're really deep and spiritual, you don't talk. Real spiritual masters move in silence. You wouldn't even know if a spiritual master is right next to you. Not until they open their mouth and they speak words of wisdom that are so profound, but you prejudge them because of their appearance, their dress, their whatever, and prejudged them and never gave them credit that they could actually possibly be a master, because we have been brainwashed to believe a master wears a costume, a master wears a robe, a master wears a takia or a emma, or they wear a yarmulke, or they wear a fez or a tarbush, or an ankh, or a Egyptian robe. We have been brainwashed to believe that I have to wear a top hat to prove my occult power and prowess. That is so far removed from the truth. All you need is to master yourself, and you will realize that the truest form of a master is silence. As a great Sufi proverb goes, silver is speech, silence is golden. You don't need to talk. You don't need to promote yourself. You don't need to constantly draw attention to yourself. If you are, that magnetic energy that you have elevated yourself to have will attract people to you, will bring them to you, and they will always stay there because they know that you can give them a little food that helps them. Notice, not you, that helps them master themselves. You can't help them do anything. All you can do is give them a little food to start them on their journey. So deal with the shadow self. Go within yourself and master that true self. And bring out that true potential of yourself. Because you are a master. And you will be a master. Just awaken it and stop running from it. Once again, my name is Ravana Nun, and this is Awakening Universal Minds. Peace.